What's up, everybody? It's Parallax Abstraction, and welcome to PXA Peeks at Sky to Fly Faster Than Wind. Yeah, that's the name I'm tentatively using for my new series where I take a look at modern games. Thanks to my buddy StylesXP for giving me that idea. I think it's kind of interesting, but I'm not sure. If you guys can think of a better one, feel free to drop a comment and let me know. It is still subject to change, so we'll see there. So this is another game I got a review code for a little while ago, and I got really busy and I couldn't check it out when I wanted to. So yeah, if you're thinking that the title of this game, Sky to Fly Faster Than Wind, reads like a bad translation, oh, just you wait. This game is full of that stuff. So this is interesting. This game came out from a Ukrainian-based publisher called Absolutist, who is most famous for a lot of casual titles on mobile and for the web. And yes, indeed, this is a pretty casual title that was ported over, as far as I can tell, just from Android. I can't find this on iOS. Now, before you stop the video, I know you're thinking, oh god, mobile conversion to PC, those are usually garbage, and you would be right. But there's something to this one. I was prepared to write it off pretty early, but I've actually been really enjoying it for some interesting reasons. That's what I'm going to show you guys here today. So this is they call this a runner game. Now, when most people think runners on mobile, they think one of those games where you have a character or a vehicle or something that goes continuously. The game is basically endless, and your goal is to get as far as you can and get as high a score as you can before you die. This game is not like that. This game is a runner in that you're just controlling a self-propelling vehicle, but it is mission-based. So there are a bunch of different missions that have a beginning, a middle, and end, and there is a story to this game, though it's pretty basic and, like I said, kind of poorly translated. So they say that the story mode takes about 3 hours. There's 20 core missions and 9 additional quests, which are what these orders are here. All these are missions that they're all the same, and there's multiple types, but they repeat basically, and they're just in the interest of getting more currency that you can buy upgrades with. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're seeing timers on these things, and you're like, oh god, here comes the mobile game scumminess, where everything's on a timer, and there's multiple kinds of currency, which, yes, there are, and they want you to spend more money in order to unlock stuff. Not really so. So this game is only $4 on Steam. It's very inexpensive, and there is no in-game purchases whatsoever. You actually don't have the means to buy additional currencies or reset timers even if you wanted to. And while there are timers in this game, the only ones that kind of matter are these, which do take a little while, but again, these side missions are completely optional and not at all necessary for the most part. And there's also a timer on resetting your ship, but I don't even know why they bothered leaving this in, because even if your ship gets severely damaged, the biggest amount of time it takes to repair is 30 seconds. And you can still buy your way to the end of that. Like, you can buy your way to a quicker repair. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but they left it in there anyway. So, yeah, the mechanics of this game are very simple. This is a casual game, but I've been really enjoying it. For starters, the art in this game is absolutely wonderful, especially these 2D portraits of a lot of the different characters. I think the art is absolutely stellar. In the very basic options menu for this game, there is no resolution option. It runs at whatever your monitor is running, and there is a low detail mode you can turn on that makes everything look kind of blurry, which I presume is to run this on very old computers. This is not a demanding title, needless to say, but I think the art looks absolutely fantastic, and the soundtrack is pretty good as well. So yeah, in your when you're docked at a base like this, you can hire different people if you want, all of which gives different little benefits. So I've got an actual pretty good lineup here already. Kylie is one of the story characters that you beat right at the beginning. And as you can see, what I say about translation, full of spite yet real cutie. Yeah, this stuff is not really the translation's not horrible. Like, you get what everybody's saying, but there is a lot of grammatical stuff in that is definitely not done very well. So there are multiple ships that you can buy. I think you can only buy the ships at different points, because this is the other ship, but I can't select it right now for some reason. You can also buy upgrades to it. I've already bought all the upgrades to this one, so it's maxed out. And yeah, you either take these side missions, which are just for gaining extra money, or you go on the adventure. So we've met up with this lady here. You're basically trying to help out a resistance to a city that's being invaded by pirates. This entire world takes place in this sort of floating island idea. None of that's explained, but it's a very interesting idea, and yeah, you're trying to basically end this little small war. So we've met up with the pirates, but they don't want to work with us until we can prove that we're good enough. We have to outrace their best cargo ship, who basically cheats. This is the only mission I've ever failed, and I failed it multiple times. It's actually pretty tricky. So if you win this, you get currency. There are a bunch of different power-ups in this game, some of which you pick up during the actual runs themselves, others of which you can earn as bonuses, because there's little chests you can pick up mid-level as well where you'll get them for free, or you can just buy some of the ones that are available. So the magnet here, for example, you buy this, it will automatically pull in the loot that's in the level so that you don't have to make sure you fly over it. You just have to kind of go reasonably near it, and it will sort of pull towards you. You can also double the loot you pick up, and there's armor you can buy, though you rarely need to do that. Alright, let's get rolling here. So I gotta beat that guy. There is some more story flavor text that pops up the first time you do this mission, but because I've already done it, it's not showing it to me. So this is it. The entire game is basically played, I think I've already lost, but this game is basically played with just the left and right buttons. I'm not controlling the acceleration of the ship. You're always going full blast unless you hit something. And your goal is just to sort of navigate around things and get to the end of the level and avoid the enemies and collect the power-ups and the loot. So, see that sort of ball lightning thing there? That's sort of an EMP thing. If I hit that, it will actually disable my controls for a few minutes. In some of the other missions as well, there are pirates who will shoot at you. They'll shoot missiles, they'll shoot artillery, they'll shoot other things. There's a lot of sort of biological creatures in the environment, so that sort of black tornado thing will screw you up. There's creatures that will head towards you that will either do damage or will sort of latch onto your ship, and you have to actually brush against islands to knock them off. So this is a repair thing right here. Things like that. There's other environmental hazards, just general little things that are slowing you down. But your goal in almost every scenario here is to complete the levels as fast as possible. It's pretty much on rails like this. Sometimes the direction will change like this. This is automatic. I don't have control over that. There are some levels where you'll actually get multiple paths that you can choose to go down, which is kind of interesting. It's two different ways of... You'll always get to the end of the level, but it's two different ways of completing it. And you'll get these sort of different little objectives, and this is your goal. This is really the core of it, is just flying around like this. And a lot of people will think this is really basic and simplistic, and they're not wrong. It totally is. Most games like this... No, I screwed this up. All right, let's try that again. Unfortunately, this is a little Tron runnery, and then in that if you spend money on a power-up and you lose, you don't get it back, which is kind of a bummer. But like I said, this game is also very easy. So far, this is the only mission I've had to retry ever, and I'm probably about halfway through the campaign, maybe a little bit less than that at this point. So, and those are treasure chests that you can pick up. If you pick up those chests and you complete a level, those unlock. Sometimes they give you free power-ups, sometimes they give you extra currency, things like that. And this is the core gameplay of this. It's very, very simple, but I don't know, between this art style and, like, just listen to this soundtrack. You see what I mean? It's just... There's something very zen about this game that I am really enjoying. It's just, it's so simple. And yeah, I'm all, you know, I love me some deep games with a lot of complex systems and a lot of things I have to think about and manage at the same time, don't get me wrong. But sometimes it is nice to just have a little sort of chill-out experience like this that doesn't require a lot of effort, doesn't require a lot of brain power, and yet you have fun and you do feel like you've accomplished something when you finish a mission or something of that nature. And yeah, there's real appeal in that. And I've been having a lot of fun with this game. When I first got the review code and saw that it was a mobile conversion, my initial reaction was to go, oh god, why did I accept this? This is gonna suck. And it really surprised me. And I really do appreciate the fact that it is a mobile conversion, but they took out all the scumminess and they made it reasonably priced. The thing a lot of mobile game developers do tend to do... Oh, you son of a... I was gonna try to run him into that balloon thing. This mission's actually tougher than it seems, I have to say. But yeah, the thing that a lot of developers tend to do when they put mobile games on PC is they either leave in the microtransaction scumminess, which PC gamers just don't tolerate, or they charge a higher upfront price that's kind of ludicrously high for what it is. Or in the case of games like Tron Runner, which was not even a mobile game, they charge you a good price up front and then put pay-to-win microtransactions in it anyway. Yeah, this game doesn't do that. These guys seem to get what the PC audience wanted, so they made it inexpensive. It's not free because obviously they got to pay for their development somehow, but they didn't go, okay, we're going to put this on PC with no microtransactions, but we're going to charge you 10 or 15 bucks. They said, no, we're going to charge $4, which is still very reasonable and, you know, really makes a low cost of entry and a low risk to the consumer, but there's no microtransactions in it at all. Like, they could have even left them in and made them more optional and said, well, if you just really want to accelerate forward, you can do that, but they didn't even bother to do that. They just said, nope, you buy it, you get it. And the only thing that really can be a little hampering from a time perspective is those side missions. And you could probably, if you were good at it, you could probably beat the entire story campaign without having ever touched one of those, and you'd be fine. Everything else, healing your ship, getting power-ups at a reasonable drop rate so that you're not having to buy a lot of those, none of that's a problem. It's all just there, and it doles them out very fairly. To a degree, I would say it's even a little too generous sometimes. It kind of makes things easier than they need to be. And that's really impressive to me. I think they got it, and they understood what they needed to do to make a PC conversion. Oh, right at the end of this guy becomes a real dick. It's surprising to me how, like, honestly, this is far and away the hardest mission I've played in this game so far. Unfortunately, it leaves you basically no room for error. I kind of wish I could show you guys some missions that had some combat in it and that. The one bummer is that you can't go back and do previous missions or anything like that unless you reset your entire progress, which is kind of too bad. I can't really jump around and show you guys things like that. But I think this is a really good idea for a title if you just want to zen out and if you just want something where, you know, you've had a hard day and you just want to play something to sort of distract yourself and sort of just chill your mind out, but you don't want to put a lot of effort into something. And, you know, this game, it looks really, really nice, yet it runs very well. You know, again, mobile conversion, but it runs at a solid 60 frames per second. I mean, this game will probably run very well on even very old hardware because obviously this was designed for phones, which, you know, often can't compete with even very basic PC GPUs. But there is a low detail mode as well, and this game does have Steam Cloud support. So this is a game you could put on, you know, your home computer and maybe your laptop if you're traveling or whatever, and sync your progress back and forth. So they thought of that stuff, and they seem to realize that might be the use case for people like this. And yeah, you probably finish it in 3 hours, but hey, who cares? You know, you finish it in 3 hours and you only paid $4 for it. I think that's pretty darn good value. Like I said when I talked about Battlestorm, I have paid a lot more for games that were way worse value and that I liked a lot less. And I am very picky when it comes to this type of game. You know, I like endless runners, but I tend to get bored of them fairly quickly. And I think most free-to-play mobile games are garbage. I am on record as saying I don't like, you know, even the really, ooh, I hate you. All right, one more time, and then I'll show you guys a side mission just to give you a little bit more of an idea of what's happening here. But even some of the popular mobile games, you know, the Clash Royales and things like that. You know, Clash Royale at the time I record this is all the rage, but I played that game for half an hour, and as soon as I hit one of the really obnoxious timers that was like, hey, we know you love playing this game, but if you want to advance, either pay us money or don't play it for several hours. The second that happens, I'm like, nope, screw you, I'm out. Because they don't respect my time as a player, and they basically actively encourage me to either spend money or not play it if I want to progress, which I think is a completely opposite way to how games should be. And this probably, the mobile version of this, I have not tried this on my phone, but the mobile version of this is probably much more like that. But the PC version is exactly what I would have wanted. I am always happy to pay a little bit more money up front if it means that I'm going to get a complete experience that I can play at my own pace and that I don't have to feel punished for enjoying. And that's what this is. I could marathon this game or I could play it in tiny little sessions, which is what I've been doing with it. And even when I'm done this video, I'll probably finish this game because it's enjoyable. And I think it creates a really good atmosphere between this relatively relaxed play pace, this really, really nice art style, and this just sort of chilled, you know, Zen guitar music that they have here. There's a couple of sequences where you're being chased by enemy pirates where it kind of plays this sort of light metal thing, which seems a little disjointed, but also fitting to the scenario. But other than that, it's just, yeah, it's just chill, man. Just flying my ship, earning some money, you know, outrunning some pirate couriers, and, you know, that's kind of it. And I'm just having a good time. Oh, have I got ya? Ha ha! Screw you. All right. So I won the race, so you see I get some currencies. And my bonus was some extra money. So let's check out the next mission here. Good speed, my dear. I mean, yeah. And yeah, you always have these kind of really half-wit responses that you can give, which is just your advancement button. So, all right, let's see what the next mission is. Marianne ordered you to deliver cargo to a pirate engineer. Okay. The way. You pressed the wrong key on the same row there, guys. I got a task for you. You have to deliver this engine oil to this address. Kylie, I hope you understand that pirates are not to be trifled with. I risk my life because of you. You have no choice. So, here's the basics. Most missions are like this, so that's my base objective, but if I arrive in under a certain amount of time, I get a little bit of a bonus, so. But, like, listen to this music. Like, doesn't that kind of make you just nod your head along and you're like, yeah, it's just, it's a happy time, you know? It's just, it's fun. It's jovial. You're just like, yeah, I like this. I don't know. There's something to this, you know, if you're, hopefully you guys can see from the video really what the core of this thing is about. If you're not into this idea, so you see here I'm picking up a bunch of loot. Ooh, there's a place nearby where the air currents carry all sorts of trash, including old gears. We can make some money. Where are we going? Okay, here we go. So the majority of the missions also have these gears that you pick up as well, which is some of the loot you can grab. So you didn't see that in that race mission. But you can see the levels start out very easy, but you can see they get a little more complicated. There's a lot to dodge. If you want to beat a level as fast as possible, you obviously don't want to hit anything. If you do, you just kind of bounce off it and slow down. And you do have a damage meter, though as yet in this game, I have never actually had my ship blow up from damage, though that probably can happen later on. But hopefully you guys see what the basics of this is. I mean, if this looks boring and unfun to you from the footage, then you're playing it is probably not going to sell you on it. But as someone who is very picky about this genre of game, and especially about anything that even has the slightest whiff of mobile to it, this surprised me a lot. You know, I was pretty much, yeah. So these things sort of pull towards you here, those sort of pufferfish thing, and you can bash them a few times to kill them. Occasionally they will actually drop loot as well. But most enemies in this game are best avoided whenever possible. Oh god. But yeah, as someone who's picky about this kind of stuff, I was ready to write this game off, and I shouldn't judge a book by its cover all the time, because this surprised me a lot, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. And I probably never would have bought this game otherwise, but I would not have felt ripped off if I had. And so that's one of the floating enemies there. They're very easy to take out. There we go. So you see I bashed him and I got some extra coin for it. But you can avoid them too. But because there's a repair... Oh no, that's not a repair thing. That's an island. So you see here we're actually dealing with enemies. But if you can fly past them, they just kind of wave off. And then that's it. Are we going to make it? Oh, we're just going to make it. 6.2 seconds left. And that's really the core of it. That's the way the majority of these missions are. But I enjoy it. It's very, you know, low investment, lightweight, doesn't tax your brain or your reflexes necessarily, but sometimes that's all right. You know, much as I'm a hardcore gamer and I love hardcore games, I can appreciate a nice little chill experience too that's just fun for the sake of it. And that's really what this is. Fresh meat, heh. You think pirate life is sweet, huh? This guy looks like a badass. Lose an arm or a leg and you'll see. It's not my business anyway. Are you ready? Go and get some fluff from the Savage Dale. It's full of pretty little monsters and you'd rather get a good cannon before getting there. I can install some, not free of course. Oh! So there are... Okay, so there are weapons. So it looks like you actually do have weapons in this game. Unfortunately, we don't have enough money, but I can... So you can convert gems back to money and back again if you need to, which is always nice. So let's just do that. because I want to see what this is. And I can upgrade how quickly the cannon recharges, but I don't... Let's do that once. Alright. So it looks like it's 10 seconds. Let's try this out. I was going to end here, but you know what? I want to see what this cannon thing involves, because I honestly didn't know there was any combat in this. That makes things way more interesting. I'm glad I ran into this while I was recording. So let's see here. So there's a cannon in the bottom right. I can click on this. I don't know if there's a key that allows me to fire it. Dandelions. Pass by to collect the fluff. Okay. So the game will point out new enemies and objects like that when you see that. And here are the pricklers. Stay ahead and use the right-click control key or the icon to shoot. Okay, so the control key. Oh yeah, there it is. Now, I wonder if this is a seeking weapon. It shoots very slowly. Okay, so I picked up that jetpack there, which basically is really good when you're on a time-limited mission because it makes you go really quick, but it also makes it really hard to control yourself, as you can plainly see here. Now, you also saw there that one of the objectives in this mission was to kill all the enemies, which I've obviously failed at now, because I heard a couple of guys go by there. I also don't know if this weapon is sort of if it seeks towards the enemy or if it's dumbfire, if you sort of have to be more or less aiming at them for it to work. Let's try this. Yeah, I don't think it seeks. We'll see when another enemy comes about here. Yeah, okay, it does shoot straight ahead, so you actually do have to be a bit careful with your aim. So that's cool. So there is some combat in this game. I actually didn't know that. I was never given a hint of that beforehand. So actually that adds a little bit more depth to it and a little bit more complexity, which is cool. You don't have to just entirely avoid guys. So I dig that too. So yeah, well, you've got a good idea here of what this game is about. Like I said, it's nothing hardcore. It's probably nothing memorable. This is a game you will probably finish and then never think about it again. But there's nothing wrong with that inherently. You know, there is still value in that, and this is something that really is just... Couldn't shoot that guy, didn't recharge in time. But there is a real value in games that are just fun for the sake of it, and I have nothing against casual titles or titles that are really designed just for simple fun. The only problem is, at least in the modern mobile space, most of those games are designed in a very exploitive manner. And the PC version of this is not, and it's cheap to boot. They seem to have fully understood what the PC community would have wanted out of a game like this, and I'm very pleased about that. So, if this looks appealing, I would pick it up. You got nothing to lose. It's dirt cheap, and it will probably be on sale before too long. So, hey, why not? So yeah, that is Sky to Fly, Faster Than Wind, developed by Ivik LLC and published by Absolutist in 2016 for PC, Mac, and Linux. It is available on Steam for $4 or your regional equivalent. I enjoy it. It's not gonna set the world on fire, but it's good fun, and that's really what's most important at the end of the day, right? My name is Parallax Abstraction. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you liked what you saw here, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. That does help me out a great deal. And, well, I will see you guys next time. I got some more sky piracy to do. Take it easy, everybody.